This video is not for everyone, but if you want to know exactly what an investigative journalist have discovered about why the US is deploying military troops in Nigeria in droves, bringing in military aircraft and everything, and the reason why they are stationing all these military personnel in different locations, and even why the US carried out a military strike on 25th December, watch this video and hear what David Hundeyin said. Just listen.
The United States is expanding its military presence in Nigeria. After launching airstrikes on Christmas Day, Donald Trump is now sending 200 American soldiers to Africa's most populous nation. Officially, it's a training mission, but discussions are reportedly underway for something more: a potential US drone facility on Nigerian soil.
After successfully spinning Nigerian Christian genocide into the geopolitical kabuki theater we recently witnessed, featuring Nigerian separatists, Eric Prince, and Nigeria's hapless vassal government, Donald Trump has made his real move: a US military base in Nigeria, just a stone's throw away from the AES. According to reports, talks to establish a US drone refueling station, or as that is otherwise known, a US military base with extra steps, in Nigeria's northeast are at an advanced stage. Now, regardless of how the placeholders in Abuja will try to spin it, the reality is self-evident. Nigeria is being occupied and retrofitted into the empire's primary anti-revolutionary battering ram in West Africa. Basically, this country, which has been the region's sole hegemon for 60 plus years, is now being set up to go to war with its neighbors in the Sahel pretty soon. Recognizing Donald Trump's utter lack of interest in eradicating insurgency or saving Nigerian Christians is key to understanding the true motivations of the US in Nigeria. After his initial guns-a-blazing threat last year, the US could have easily struck militias in Nigeria's Middle Belt, who have been held responsible for multiple deaths and abductions in the region, but that did not happen. Instead, Trump's Christmas Day attack on ISIS terrorists and bandits took place in Sokoto in northwestern Nigeria. Meanwhile, less than 600 miles away from Sokoto, there is ISWAP, a known ISIS affiliate which has established a de facto caliphate in areas of northeastern Nigeria, where it collects millions of dollars more in taxes than the Borno state government, according to one estimate. While direct US military strikes are a recent development in Nigeria, the US has long provided intelligence support in the form of drone surveillance photos, support which contributed to the killing of at least 160 civilians in an airstrike at an IDP camp in 2017, for example. And this seeming effectiveness is not limited to Nigeria. A pattern of posturing with terrible results has characterized the entire US war on terror, especially in Africa, because the ultimate aim of this imperial effort is not to secure peace, but to maintain the empire's peripheral territories in a state of permanent instability, which makes cheap or free resource extraction possible. Here's the stuff for you. Since the US began channeling funds to train African militaries in counter-terrorism operations in the early 2000s, terrorism incidents in Africa have actually increased 100,000%. Think about that. When the US launched such programs as the Trans-Sahara Counterterrorism Initiative after 9/11, terrorism incidents were negligible and many questioned their purpose. Between 2002 and 2003, for example, the US State Department recorded 9 incidents across Africa with 23 casualties. But with greater anti-terror rhetoric and military support, suddenly came actual terrorism. Somalia witnessed this firsthand when a US campaign to stamp out Islamism led to the emergence of Al-Shabaab in 2006. As US and French bases and externally led operations multiplied in Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso between 2016 and 2019, casualties from terrorism surged 5-fold, and the number of displaced people grew 10-fold in the same period. Now that the AES is exercising its sovereignty, equipping a joint security force, proclaiming its territory, and repelling a surge of terrorists that even Stevie Wonder can see is clearly Western-backed, France and the US apparently see Nigeria as central to the strategy for reclaiming these former imperial territories. The attempted invasion of Niger in 2023 and the quelling of the Benin coup recently on orders of France showed that Nigeria is being repurposed to serve as West Africa's primary enforcer of neo-colonial stability, which is a complete reversal of the foreign policy approach between the 1960s and the 1990s that Nigeria used to have, where Nigeria's support for anti-colonial liberation movements from South Africa to Angola earned it a reputation as Africa's big brother. So for the first time in its entire post-colonial history, Africa may need a Nigeria containment strategy.